What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy D Nally, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another one, man. Like I say, these last couple of, I want to say almost months, man, you guys have just been absolutely killing it with these requests. As always, man, we're coming back at it with those crappy batteries. But as always, we have a huge list to run through real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. FH3 Gamer, Alex Perez, The Tobsters, Princess Bisma, Max, Johnny Rempel, Jack Cool Carnus, Prince Basima, Brody Mitchell, Grant Williams, Blake Audette, Cruz Parker, HD Gamer Plays, Cheap Basima, Keaton Paynar, Tanner Baker, Vibe Cars 24/7, Josh Enrico Lupisan, James Bain, Mulla Games, Kevin Towles 2, Rayad Soberali, Reapers, Logan Hendra, Liam Smoothie, Keegan Spark, James Carter, Cartoons Nation, Forza Horizon 3 Drifter, Mikey Rides, and Technically Reviewed all want to see Jake Paul's M3 wide body build, man. Now, I just want to give a huge shout out to Jack Kakov on YouTube. He was my 50,000th subscriber on YouTube, man. He did comment that, so I want to give a big shout out to you, man. Thank you and all of you guys so much for all of your support, man. We are halfway on the way there to 100,000 subscribers, which was never really a goal of mine, but man, you guys are slowly making it possible. So I want to thank all of you guys, who are still tuning in on a regular basis, especially making requests. This all would not be possible without any of you guys. So shout outs to all you guys, man. So what we need to do first and foremost is see if we can find this BMW M3. Now, I did see a lot of you guys commenting to use the M4. I'm assuming that this model of M3, the newer style 4-door M3, probably not available in this game. So we're going to skim through a few options. The M4 Coupe is, I think, what we're going to be using. M6, M5. I know there was the GTS, but we're definitely not going to be using that thing. M4 GTS. So I'm going to go out on a limb and just use the M4. Now, this thing is a 2-door, and I know that Jake Paul's M3 is in fact a 4-door, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead, jump into this BMW M4, which we're going to say essentially looks the same. Probably not at all, the same underneath. I'm sure there's some differences, but we're going to go ahead, jump up inside this bad boy and see what we can make of it. Now, for those of you guys who have been subscribed to the channel for a while, you guys will know that I do a lot of YouTuber requests. And so, I do a lot of research and I come across cars that I really never have seen before. And it allows me to do some research and see a lot of people's cars that are out there, especially YouTubers, since I am a YouTuber. And I have to say, I looked up a few videos on this thing, and this car has to be probably one of the best sounding cars that I've ever built. Like, coming from a real life perspective, this thing's just an absolute beauty. Now, one of the reasons we have to use the M4 in this situation is to get that Liberty Walk wide body kit on this bad boy. Now, as you can see, this is what makes that car, in my opinion. And even though this is an M4, we are going to do our best to replicate the rest of it. Obviously, the duck build, not going to happen. We got that big wang gang happening right here. So we're going to go ahead and install that beast on here real quick. Now, with the tires, I'm going to put a sport tire compound on here because I do want to drift this thing. And I know a lot of people always give me crap about putting on those racing tires when I'm trying to make a drift build. So I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and trust you guys on this one. So we're gonna see how it works out. Now, as always, wheels are a very important aspect on these builds, so I'm going to just take a second, skim through a couple of options here until I find something that I like. As always, I will let you guys know when I find it. And what I realize is actually through the editing process, that me selecting the wheels takes no time at all for you guys because I just edit it out so that you guys, just, we cut right back in. These wheels, I think, are going to be the best selection, even though they're gold right now. I think once we get them painted black and this car wrapped with that Jake Paul livery, I think we should be good to go. Now, race diff, we're going to, like I said, I want to drift this a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. Now, as always, BMW coming in on them M4s with the best brakes that you can possibly get. So no upgrades to be done there. I'm going to lower the suspension and that's it. Actually, you know what? That's not it because we got to do some serious weight reduction on this thing. And we also need to throw a cage in here. Now, if I could paint that cage yellow, I would. But you're not going to be able to see it once I tint the windows anyways. Now, this thing is just an absolute monster. Like I say, look up some videos on this thing of it just doing donuts, and this is probably the night. I've done a lot of cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Mustangs. I mean, just a number of YouTuber cars, and I have to say, when I came across videos of this car, I was thoroughly impressed, to say the least. So we're gonna, just do a few minor upgrades in order to possibly get that same level of performance out of this thing. And if we have to, we may come back to add just a little bit more. As far as tuning goes, the one thing that I do want to do here is just lower the front end all the way, because the back end is pretty well tucking. But I feel like if we can just lower the front a bit, it will give it a nice stance. And otherwise, this thing is pretty much track ready. Now, one thing we are going to do is try to... I'm pretty sure somebody probably made a skin for this thing, but we're just going to go ahead and search anyways, because there's a lot of decals for your boy Don Squally to be putting on out here. And, we're trying to keep the videos within a 10 to 15 minute range on the regular, but sometimes we go a little bit over. So we're going to go ahead and search here. Sorry, I forgot I was supposed to be doing something there, just completely stopped. And for the first time, I think, in the history of me making YouTube videos, it looks like we do not have a skin here. We got a couple of attempts, but it looks like I'm going to have to cobble something together real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and head on over to the paint car. First, we got to paint everything up, and then we're going to go ahead and apply some decals. So I am probably going to fast forward a few parts where I can, but we're getting into it now. We're going to see if we can make this happen real quick. So now that we got this thing painted up the way that we want, we're going to save it, and we're going to go ahead and apply some decals on here. Now, what I want to do is just hit up the decal selection, and obviously we are going to go ahead and search a couple of the brands that I see on this car. So I'm just going to search up a couple of the decals, be unable to share my design. That's cool. You guys saw that. Can't save this. So I'm just going to go ahead, do what I can here to position these properly, and do the same to the opposite side. Oh no, look at that. We're going to have to go ahead and copy this, it looks like. Paste. There it is. Guess reposition this real quick. Now, one thing I did notice is we're not going to be able to get the stickers on the splitters, but the front bumper, we can go ahead and apply a couple of decals. And the font's not exactly perfect, but for the sake, like I say, keeping the video short, we're just going to go ahead and work with that. Also, a couple more stickers to add up in here. And we're going to go ahead and resize these real quick. Stamp one there and one on that side. And as far as decals go, like I say, the splitter is going to be a no-go. Windows are going to be a no-go. So I think we're just about done here. And even though we did the auction, too many save files, I'm going to have to do some deleting here, ladies and gentlemen. Really don't want to lose this one, I'll tell you. And with that being said, let's get out there and see what this bad boy is all about. Now, even though this is an M4, still expecting it to be equally as crazy as Jake Paul's M3. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this official car of Formula 1. Okay, so I'm assuming this is some sort of a pace car, which makes it even more ridiculous that this thing is, you know, on the street. And actually, no, that's not true. There's all kinds of different pace cars, I suppose. I remember when I was younger. Well, you know, I don't watch too much motorsports of that kind to know exactly what kind of pace cars they're using nowadays. I mean, they do F1 in Toronto here, but I don't know, man. I've just never been personally. I'm more of a motorsport in my own car kind of guy. You know what I mean? But I do remember when I was younger, they had the Dodge Ram doing the pace cars and everything like that. I mean, they probably still do. I'm probably just really dating myself in this video. But, you know, I assure you, still bout it out this mofo. But as far as this car goes, I gotta say, I'm not gonna deny the fact that the sport tires here are helping the drifting. I just, you know, if I were ever in a position where I was online and I had this car out and I was using it for drifting and I just so happened to race somebody, you know, I'd want it to perform at the best of its ability, but I understand where you guys are coming from. Yeah, I do. I thought that, come on, I thought that was a road, man. I just don't like driving the builds off-road, you know what I mean? I like more of a realistic experience. Speaking of which, let's jump inside this thing. I gotta hand it to BMW. Lately, they've really been coming out with some really good cars now. Not to say they always haven't been coming out with some good cars, but just the stuff they're doing with turbocharged engines and, you know, the 135, the 335, the M4s, M3s, just, you know, no other car manufacturer is really making that amount of performance cars in their, you know, current fleet right now. There's just a lot of different options when it comes to BMW now. You know, you got to pay the money, you got to pay to play, and it's not something that I could ever see myself. Driving, because the cost of maintenance, it's just quite frightening to somebody, you know, who on you know, just not that big of an income. Let's just say that. It's those brake pads for that brake job, man, quite expensive. But for somebody like Jake Paul, I gotta say, man's making money despite what you want to say about the, you know, the Paul family, if you will, man. These guys are absolutely slaying it out there, and you know, no F's given, basically. So I gotta give a kudos to them for that, most certainly. Now, if this were real life, I would be currently in an insurance debate with that guy back there, because, well, we just hit and ran him. But I mean, this car, it's pretty cool, but as you can see, we're lacking grip here, and I'm just gonna put it out here, man. Race tires are better than sport tires. There, I said it. But I'm thinking we can probably pull off, steal somebody's drivers. This is a rather rural area here. Let's go ahead and fast travel to a more California-esque area of the city here, if you will, and put an end to this one. I want to go over by the water here, man. Let's go check out this ocean. But yeah, I call this one a success. It's probably, the duration of the video is probably running on a little longer than I personally would have liked. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes in order to make things work. And, you know, this is one that I really wanted to do because you guys, like I say, completely killed it with the requests. So as always, let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments section. I will do my best to make it happen. Oh, that canopy back there is killing my big wang gang, man. Let me just go ahead and pull this forward real quick. Killing me right now. Killing me. This sign better not be in my way right now. I'm gonna be real upset. Okay. All right. We're good. So as always, I'm your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally. We gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.